Yo, what up, what up, what up? This is DPS Podcast, that's Damage Per Second Podcast, back again. Another Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Glad to have you guys with us. And we got a special guest. You know, even though he's not really like a guest, because I think he may have been here. I think he might be tied with our buddy Agent Deli for the most appearances on the show. But either way, he is not just a friend, but like basically almost like a co-host, so to speak. Shout out to our homie Eric Jackson joining us tonight. What's up, Eric?
What's going on, gentlemen? I feel honored, man. Like I feel like we should get like a framed picture and put it up on the virtual like DPS wall, employee of the or get like guest of the month type of thing.
Right.
That'd be fly. That'd be fly.
Like a candid of you, just like at the grill, just cooking like you in the backyard, our
Yeah, yeah.
backyard, just
Big
grilling
old
food.
smile.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just I
Happy.
live here.
Right. Just happy as hell.
Right. And
Nah, man.
my
But
bad. I forgot to say episode 126. My bad. I forgot to say that. I usually
all right.
say that. We are 126 episodes in, a quarter of our
You
way
man,
to
126.
200. Man, yes. Can you believe it? Can you believe I have been able to put up with this other guy I have yet to introduce, Mr. Gaming Forte, for a 125 episodes. Forte, can you believe that?
Nah, man, I still can't believe that I'm still here with you. It's very,
Wow.
it's very fortunate.
Wow.
It's very fortunate that I have a very good sense of humor, and I'm like a whale, let the water run off its back, because slow mo does some crazy stuff and says some crazy stuff, but I'm still here,
I have
so
never.
I guess it ain't all that bad.
Hey, you can't name one crazy thing I've said.
Oh man, all I gotta do is go look at Twitter, find a couple of things just there alone.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Every now and then I haven't, indulged the dark side on Twitter. But I mean, that's been a long time ago. I've matured now.
It was like last week.
No. Look. When I say I matured on Twitter, I don't do any of the stuff no more. I don't mess around with people like, trying to like get a rise out of me. I'll be like, nah, fam, whatever. Like people start getting, out of pocket, start calling names, being
You
disrespectful.
stop cutting people out.
Oh yeah,
See,
I don't cuss people out
you
no more.
know,
I just
Oh
block
man.
them and act
right.
like they don't exist no more. And I think people will realize that once slow mo block you, there is no unblocking. Like that unblock button, that don't exist in my account. Like I don't have that button. I don't have that option.
They can't plead and apologize and
Nah,
come back on.
it's a wrap, son. Go check my tweets on your sock account. That's it, because that's all you.
You know, and you know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about that? Like relatively, like you and Forte, when you think about the grand scheme of this community, right? The console war community, however you want to look at it, Twitter community.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are like still considered like fairly new compared to like guys like me and Regan who've been around it since like 2013, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, I've watched like you, Forte, Luke, like all these people like kind of come in a certain way, kind of do the banter back and forth, and then grow out of it like rapidly, like to a point you're like, why am I dealing with this? I'm not here to like entertain you and try to change it. Just go be dumb. I don't have time for that, right? You don't have the energy for it. And you just wake up one day, you go, I don't have the energy or the time to even blow up my mentions or anything like that because it's not worth it. Why am I doing that, right?
Right.
But you have cats who have been in here since 2013 who are doing the same exact thing day in, day. When did you get tired of it?
Listen, Jack, man, my time is too valuable and all that.
Right.
Once I got to the realization that I was like, literally, people are sitting on Twitter, arguing back and forth, going on podcasts, arguing about what someone else said, and they don't even have half the information that they need to even have a consistent argument that can be a back and forth. It's just like all I gotta do is just show up and say one thing, be like, okay, this is dumb and this is why, and you really have no way to combat it because you didn't do no research. And I'm sitting there like, why am I arguing with people that make no sense? And I could be working, I can go to work and make money, or I can stay at home and play games, or I can go on YouTube and make a video. All of those things is more productive than sitting here arguing with people that are like literally 5 to 10 years older than me or 5 to 10 years younger than me, and literally still haven't figured this stuff out yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like it's like
go
each
ahead,
their
go ahead.
own. I say each their own, each their own. Like if you find it entertaining and that's what whatever. But I watch some of the guys I've known forever still doing the same exact thing. Like just for the sake of it being like played out. It's like eventually, don't you get bored of the same cereal every morning?
Apparently
I don't know. That's just my question. I don't have time for it. When you sit there with the game menu pause because you're going back and forth with somebody, that's when you have to kind of like step back and go, "What am I doing?" Like I'm not even playing the game. I'm sitting here arguing with this nobody who has no bearing on my life
play games
at all.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I tell you,
So,
until I see some evidence, there's some of these people in this gaming community, and they quite fraudulent because I don't know if they play games.
mhm.
Like right now I'm
Right.
playing gameplay of Gotham Knights. The much maligned and panned Gotham Knights, and it deserved it. The performance of the game at launch was abysmal. Excuse me, and
Mhm.
WB Games and WB Montreal, their marketing of the game was also abysmal at how they tried to hide certain things like no performance mode.
Right.
Little things like that.
Right.
The game's finally fixed. At least on PC it is, and
Yeah.
it
It
plays.
looks great on screen right now.
I'm playing in 4K and averaging about
Mhm.
85 frames per second.
This man was bored.
Well, no, look, I got homies that like whenever they want to play something, I don't really care what it
That
is.
family.
I'll just play with them, right? We played Grounded. We played Borderlands 3 recently.
Is his name King Numpsy?
Yes. Like sweet brother Numpsy. Shout out to Numpsy. That's the homie. What you been talking about? You played with Numpsy before in Fortnite.
Is that his actual gamer tag in the game?
Yes.
It is. Okay,
King
because when
Numpsy.
we played West Side, I never noticed it. I thought it just was Numpsy. Okay, so it actually is King Numpsy. Okay.
Yes. And so like I mean we just having fun, and it's just like I think there are people who would like to play this game, but they're
Mhm.
afraid to. Or if they do play this game, they won't admit that they're playing the game. Because
I wouldn't admit that I'm playing it.
Mhm.
see, no, why?
Because I don't want to. Because
No, be
well,
honest. Why?
No, because like the game is just like, okay, it's just like what was the game? It's just like oh my god, what's the other game that it's like Forspoken. I don't care what anybody tells me how great that game is. That game could be great. It could be amazing. They could have fixed everything in the game. I will never play that game because that game came out the gate garbage.
But
and
what does
trash.
that have to do? But once they fix the game, what does that have to do with it?
No, listen, because it's the same reason. Okay, let me tell you. You don't know. You probably don't know this. There's a reason I've never played an Assassin's Creed game. Never. Well, there's a reason I didn't play past part 1. And the reason for that is because Assassin's Creed 1 was so grindy and so.
What does that have to do with Assassin's Creed
no,
Odyssey?
Wait.
No,
The
listen.
very
No.
first Assassin's Creed.
The very first one. It was
Forte.
terrible.
Forte.
No,
Forte.
I don't know. Listen.
No.
But
What
after that, you cheated. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say terrible.
What you doing?
But it was the seeds of something that was amazing. So you cheated yourself. But
I don't care.
He
Because
can
that's
continue
it was
to
so
cheat himself.
boring.
Forte.
It was so
What does
boring to
Assassin's
run
Creed
around
1?
and do the same thing over and over and over.
I have a
again.
question, Forte. Can
Go
you
ahead.
stop talking so I can actually
Yeah,
ask it?
Go ahead.
What does Assassin's Creed 1 have to do with Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Because
Assassin's Creed Black Flag? Or
No,
Assassin's
because it's
Creed
just-
2?
You know why? Because it was a series of games that came out, and I'm a huge component. If I don't play the original, I don't play any of the games in this. I have to go back and play the original. Like my whole thing with I even told you this about Mass Effect. I could not stand Mass Effect 1. It literally drove me insane. It was so scanning planets, staying on the Citadel for
Not
15
not
hours.
every
And on
game
the,
requires
no,
you to
listen.
play the
I'm
previous
I'm
game.
not saying every game does that, but that's just
And
my
what does
way
that
of.
have to
That's how
do
I go
with
about games.
Forspoken?
No,
It's the very
listen.
first game in
No,
the
I was just
of
saying.
the IP.
No, I'm just
Probably the
saying because
last, but
Forspoken is.
still.
I'm just saying because you said why wouldn't you? I said just like I wouldn't play Forspoken. Once I get my mindset, I just don't go back and do it.
So
But
you're stubborn,
when
is
the
what you're
same
saying.
thing. But listen, the same thing happened with Mass Effect. I literally played 3 hours
Eric, you
of
see
it.
how he's just ignoring everything
No,
I'm
listen.
saying.
No, listen. I literally played 3 hours of that game.
You're stubborn, is what you're saying.
I got stuck on a planet, and I was like, I was on the planet. I got off the planet. I was like, oh, I just fell out of the game. And then Mass Effect 2 came out, and I played literally the first hour of it, and I was like,
So you just
crap.
went back on your whole I don't
No,
play.
because my brother called me. No, listen, my brother called me, was like, bro, play the first mission in Mass Effect 2. You're gonna love the changes they made. And I was like, oh my God. So I did.
Hold on.
So I played
Pause.
then I was like, you know
real
what?
quick.
And then
Forte,
I said, you know what?
pause.
I will go
Forte,
and do
are
it.
you drunk? Can you stop?
Yes, I
pause.
am. No, because I'm trying to finish my story.
No, okay,
So-
I just
Go-
can I
Go ahead.
address something? Ducky,
ahead.
thank you for subscribing to the channel, and please
Shout out
everyone
to Ducky.
who's listening right now, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and listen to more drunk rambling from Gaming Forte. Continue, sir.
No, yes, absolutely amazing. I love you, Ducky. Thank you. But no, I literally went back and played. I was like, you know what? I have to go play Mass Effect 1. I have to struggle through this first game to get to this amazing thing that I just played. And the thing about Assassin's Creed, it's so far along at this point. I'm not going to go back and play the first, the second, the third. I have to start from the beginning because I hear that 2 was amazing. And I hear that 3 was really good. I heard the whole Ezio trilogy was really good, but I just refuse to play that first one. I refuse to do it. So I refuse to play any of them.
No, but the thing is, you could, if you
even though they're in different timelines and everything, none of them are connected anymore. I understand that, but I don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, they haven't been like, as far as like what people consider like probably the better part of, it's like when you get past Brotherhood, you know, like when Ezio's story is kind of done, then they kind of break it off from there and kind of move forward. They can have a little callback here and there, but they move it forward. The point now it's not even
like the last 3 don't play anything like the first one. Like,
I know,
they're
but I'm
completely
not
different kinds of games. One's an action RPG, the other one's a stealth game.
Listen, if they were something named not Assassin's Creed, I would have played them.
Okay, look,
it's just me. I'm just telling you that's just how it is.
Okay, so if let's say Gotham Knights has not changed at all, and instead of Gotham Knights, they call it Gotham Heights.
No.
Are you gonna play it now? Hey,
no, because first of all, you already know I'm not the biggest superhero fan, so that's not like something that's really that interesting to me.
Look,
it didn't hit for me day one, so it's not going to hit for me now.
Okay. Well, look, but back to what my original point was, is that I do not care what other people feel about the games I play. I last night we were on Brat Podcast, and people were shocked that I said I enjoyed Bleeding Edge. Yes, I did enjoy Bleeding Edge, and then I ran down for a good 5 minutes all the problems with it. But I enjoyed playing the game. Gotham Knights is not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, even with all of the performance issues fixed. I think the combat is inferior to Arkham, typical combat. And but I will give it credit. The story's pretty decent, and I like the customization you can do with the costumes. But there's a lot of game design problems I have with the game that I feel are some of them are very archaic, like older, from an older way of doing open world games, and others are just like me and my friend are playing, we're just like, why'd they do that? It's just like, why did they make this decision? For example, why do you got 4 heroes, right? 4 of the Bat Family heroes. Why do I have to do the same training? Literally have to go to a training dummy and do the same exact training for all 4 of them. in order to unlock like a better way of traversal throughout the map. And that's in addition to having to go out and then stop preemptive four preemptive crimes, take down 3 mini bosses, in addition to doing the same exact training for all 4 characters with the same slow intro to that training of Batman with his back to you and slowly turning around and doing some kind of monologue. I'm like, bruh, after the 4th one, I'm like, why did you do this to me? But it's just like, it's got those like kind of issues. Also kind of don't like the aspect that they're showing right now, though, where they do investigations. I kind of can't stand it. But it's like, it's not a perfect game. But
Dorian Gray says, is Barbara Gordon thick in the game? Is she really that thick? He said he bought her because she was thick in the game. They accentuated her really well.
It's you know, Barbara. I don't know. We haven't seen Barbara's mother. I need to see what Barbara's mother looked like. I think
cornbread, huh?
I think she might be a sister. Like that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay. So look, no, seriously. but like my original point here was that like there are people in this community that are like, Forte, your motivation for not playing these games. I was kind of half joking saying you're just stubborn, but it's all internal. But there are other people that may want to play a game, but they don't want. Oh man, I got my my PSN or my gamer tag public. People want to see I play this. You know, like I don't want people to know.
Not the moped game, slow-mo. Not the moped game, like the girl like that you're hooking up with and going out with, but don't want nobody to know.
Yeah. It's like I almost kind of wonder, these people that pay for a second, like, you know, like especially on consoles where you gotta spend the money, like people paying for a second account just to be able to play stuff they actually want to play, and it's just weird because it's like so many people are
social media factor, man.
Yeah, man. It's just like they're so caught up. It's like almost like high school, where it's like people are caught up.
Definitely that.
Where what's the popular thing? But what does everyone else think? Or what's everyone else's opinion about? I don't give a crap about none of y'all.
Wow.
None of y'all opinions.
Heck.
I play what I want. I got opinions about these topics, about what I want. Some of it you ain't gonna like. Some of it you may agree with. But I guarantee a good portion of y'all gonna be a little triggered once the show is over. Because especially this week, because I saw some of the comments before the show started, and I think some of y'all gonna be a bit disappointed with old slow-mo backslap. So we gonna see what's going on, but I think we kind of rambled and discussed things a bit enough so far into the show. We're already 20 minutes in. Eric, let us know what you've been playing before we get into the topics and everything. What's been on your docket?
Gladly slow-mo, because I don't hide what I'm playing. Like you said, I'm with you, man. Like I really don't give a damn what you think. So I'm playing that controversial joint still. I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy still.
Oh, how dare you!
I know, right? Be mad.
You must be every phobic in the world for playing that game. No, you're not. Of course, you're not. But like,
my wife walked in. You know, my wife doesn't play games, but she knows like kind of what's going on with that whole thing. So she walked in. And I was playing. She's like, "You still playing Legacy?" I'm like, "Yeah, still." You're not an ally. She walked out the room. And she just thinks she thought the whole thing like I was just showing her like timeline and stuff. She's like, "Yo, the people are weird." I'm like, "Yeah, they're weird." But no, I'm still playing Legacy. That's a robust game.
Yes.
You ain't got a lot going on, man.
Way longer than I thought it was going to be. Pause. Big pause.
Actually,
I hate the big pause. Just pause. Just regular pause. Okay.
Just pause.
Yeah, just pause. Like I didn't think the game was going to be take as long. take as long as it took to finish it. Like I found myself kind of dealing with what I dealt with God of War Ragnarok, where I was like, I was enjoying myself so much. I was doing all the side content. Every time someone came to Kratos, a ghost, a regular hey, I need this. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then like it was like a flip
Everybody got a
switch.
problem that they need you to solve.
Right, but I was so into the game, I was doing all the side content. But then like a flip switched, and I was just like, nah, fam. No more of that. I'm just doing the main.
You see that little gray symbol on the map? Like, nope, you just have to figure that out on your own.
Right, and I was like that with with Hogwarts as well. I was all for the African girl Onasi, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
I like her, and I like Sebastian. I think, is he the Slytherin? Yeah. So I like them, both of them a lot.
Kid,
and I did all of their stuff.
But, he's got a good storyline.
Oh, he's got a great storyline. I mean, it's an awesome story.
Yeah. I'm partway through his storyline now. I'm like, it's pretty deep.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. It's awesome. But it's just like I was invested in both of those characters. So for both of them, whenever they was like they sent an owl like, hey, I need help with this, I dropped everything that I was doing at that time. Let me go ahead and do this side quest. But what's Poppy, whatever her name is, the Hufflepuff. You know, all fluffy animals and save the whale. Shut up, Poppy, get out of here. What was the other the Weasley? The annoying. I mean, he's a carbon copy of the
stealing potion stuff.
Yeah, he's a carbon copy of the twins in the movies, where he's so boring. Like all he does is pranks and stuff. I was just like, no, all that other side content. I was like, I just stopped, hard stop. I'm doing the main story, and I did do a lot of the arena stuff. The arena stuff is fun, but yeah, I just had
the arena stuff is really really good. Yeah.
Anything else?
That's what I'm playing now. I'm just because especially with everything's been going on, like just been crazy 2023. So I've always tended to just focus on one game anyway. So that's all I've been playing. But I don't know if I'm gonna pause on it for a bit just to jump over to RE4 remake. I still have Dead Space remake to play too. So I got like a whole stack of stuff, and the game just keeps stacking up. That's the crazy part. But yeah, I didn't realize this game was this like robust with stuff. So I'm kind of getting to that point too. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but I'm starting to pick and choose a little bit more, like, you know, which mission I should kind of go after, because you really can get down into the weeds with that game of like just trying to help everybody and do everything, finding everything. So I don't even know if I'm going to platinum it, because it's a lot. Yeah. But
that map,
that's it for right now.
Map,
that's the other thing.
Crazy.
And then when you do like Revelio. Like when you're flying over on your broom or whatever, you like Revelio, you just see all these icons. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, there's a lot of stuff with it.
And I gotta say this. I gotta say this real quick, and then we can move on. I do not get the controversy. I was going to kind of save this for a lunchtime with slow mo, but I haven't done lunchtime with slow mo in a minute. That's my fault. I'm gonna get back to it. I promise. But I do not get the issue with the dark arts. Somebody explain to me what the problem is with the unforgivable curses. I know they got a terrible name, but you look at play that game. I dare someone to play Hogwarts Legacy and tell me the unforgivable curses are worse than the other charms that you're doing to people. So it's wrong for me. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's basically pulling in from like the storyline of the main, like, Harry Potter game, like the lore. Like those are the unforgivable curses, Cruciatus and Avada Kedavra, stuff like that. Those are the ones like the killing curse, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. There's other curses or other like spells that are in this game that you never see like in like or read really. I mean, you can read about them in the books in some cases, but you never really see it demonstrated in the game. It's like you said, the one slamming people into the ground, throwing them through walls.
Exactly. You telling me
it's pretty visceral.
You telling me the killing curse, Abracadabra, whatever it's called, where the person don't even know they did. Like you literally hit them with it and they just drop dead. Like there's no suffering, there's no they just die. You telling me that's worse than me turning you into an explosive barrel and then hurling you at your friend, or picking you up
according to Potter lore.
what? Or picking you up and slamming you over and over again into the ground until you die. Oh no, the killing curse is worse than that. Come on. Or
Yeah.
or just having you implode. There's that one finisher where the people just like it turned the purple smoke. I don't even know what happened to him. I don't even know what I did to him. But it looked cool. And I'm just like,
Right.
It looked cool.
this is worse than the killing curse? You telling me that Crucio, the torture curse, is worse? It don't do no physical damage to you. And when it's over, it's over. That's worse than me burning you.
Or the mind control. Mind control, unforgivable curse. Yeah. No, you got a good point, man.
I could
true.
burn you,
Yeah.
give you physical damage you would have for the rest of your life. That's a charm, though. That's considered a charm. But Crucio, unforgivable. How dare you give me instant pain that you can just turn off and then there's no physical harm done to me. Like, okay, okay, game, okay, world, whatever. This is why I can't get with J.K. Rowling.
You're still killing people. You're still killing.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of killing in this game. Yeah. I mean, you are a mass murderer in this game. Like they need to have
a Nathan Drake level.
They need to be taking you to Azkaban. Like it's just like it's wild out there. Like you just and even to the point where the professor's like, yeah, you don't really go to class, do you? You know, I keep hearing about you out here on these adventures. You know, taking on gangs all by yourself, taking on poachers all by yourself, leaving nobody alive. And it's just like, yeah. And it's just like,
eventually you don't even have to wear the school uniform. Like really, just walk around the school, pimped out, wearing your own stuff.
Right, wearing my own stuff. I got my own drip. I got my cloak that got floating skulls in it. Yes, I'm that dude. Like it's like what the? But look, hey, awesome game. I think it deserves to be in the game of the year conversation. I don't think it will for reasons. We know what those reasons.
Yeah.
But
hey, something that I do like about it though, I like how they handle the whole reasoning behind why you're a fifth year.
yeah.
You're like, I don't want to like get into any spoilers. I thought that's pretty cool. Like they got some deeper like story meaning in there, which is pretty cool. Like some other secretive stuff. So that's So, but you're right. I don't think it'll be in that game of the year talk. Especially because I think a certain person who runs like that hasn't really spoken too much about it in any capacity. So, yeah. So Mr. Keeley might be trying to skate past that one.
Well, for me, I know what Forte has been playing, and then that's going to lead into our first topic. So I'll do Forte for last. But for myself, I've been, as you see, I've been playing Gotham Knights, and I'm probably about maybe like a third of the way through the game so far. And like I said, this is a decent game. It's all right. I've also been playing Halo Infinite Season 3, which is really good. Call of Duty. I couldn't help myself. I bought the Shredder skin. They got Shredder from the Ninja Turtles in Call of Duty.
What?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, it doesn't matter how much it costs, man. It's mine. And it's got a gun with a red dot, which is like in Call of Duty, that's kind of a big deal. Gun's got a red dot on it, so like it's cool. Shredder has his little one-liners where he's like, you kill someone, he's like, fool, and it's just like, yeah, that's Shredder. I can't wait for him to say something like turtle soup or something like that. I don't know, like it's just like it's just cool. I've been playing that. I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage, which I'm enjoying a little bit more than I was initially. And I think some of what my disappointment with it is that it's not as good as Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is fine. Like, it doesn't need to be as good. That game, to me, was my game of the year in 2019. So, like, I probably shouldn't have the expectation that it is exactly as good as that. But I'm enjoying it. I'm at the end Fire Emblem Engage, so I probably will have it beat by the time we do the next podcast. But those were the games that I've really been playing, which hasn't been a lot because I've been sick over the past week. My whole family has been fighting this stomach virus that's just like progressively taking over the household, and it wasn't like a 24-hour stomach bug. It was like a 3-day kind of stomach bug thing. It was just bad. We just now getting over it, but it kind of had me just bedridden for a little while. But all that said,
Somebody hit y'all with them Potter charm.
yeah, yes, exactly. Somebody, you know, hit. I wish they would have hit me with an unforgivable curse instead. no, but no, like shout out to everyone that's here watching us right now. We're gonna get into what Mr. Game Forte has been playing over the past week. What you got for us, man?
Man, I've been playing a lot of Diablo. Well, outside of Destiny, a lot of Diablo. Diablo 4 is pretty incredible, bro. It's probably one of the best looking games I played in the last couple of years, especially for it to be a dungeon crawler. It looks really, really cool. I've been playing. I did a barbarian build. I did a hunter build.
What's the max level cap for the closed
20.
beta? 20. Okay.
20.
So
20.
that's a good number. It allows you, once you max that out, hey, go try something else, you know? Right?
Yep. Well, the biggest thing is too, there's a in-game reward tied to if you get your account to level 20. Because none of your progression ties over, but your whatever I'll leave it to people to find out what it is, but the item that you get in game does transfer over if you hit level 20 in it. So that was like my main thing that I wanted to do to get that. But I'm really enjoying.
I heard the opening cutscene is awesome, and Lilith is a great villain. Like
yes.
Okay, so I'll be trying it tomorrow because I'm very anti pre-order. So I was like, well, you know, I'll just wait for the open beta. So I'm gonna play it tomorrow because I might play it on consoles tomorrow because I heard that the game was bad for specifically my GPU, which is weird.
It is?
So there was something I gotta check out J2 Sense's video. He did a video saying that like it's killing 3080 Ti's, specifically that one. I think there's something, probably a issue with the latest firmware and specifically that build, but essentially from what I was told, and I haven't double checked this for certain, so I don't know for certain, but it was saying that like in the menus, the game does not regulate its power usage well, and it's like burning out GPUs. And so that's what I heard. I don't know for certain that's the case.
Dang.
But I ain't losing my 3080 Ti. How about that? So
no,
I would go play that on my PS5, and it's an open beta, and hopefully that gets fixed before the game comes out.
I didn't have an issue. I have my 3070 Ti. I have an issue with. I was able to play with no issues at all. So I didn't even know about the issue that he said that they were having with it. But yeah, the game is fun, man. And the one thing I really, really enjoy the most about it, normally when you play a Diablo game, the let's say the enemy battles, the boss fights and stuff, the boss fights in the first dungeon in the den are it's so well done. It feels like it was something that was done outside of it feel like it was something that was out of the final boss of Diablo 2 and 3. Okay. Like the mechanics that they had and stuff.
Real quick,
it was like
how many Diablos have you played?
I played all of them.
All of them. Okay, so far with this closed
even Immortal.
Yeah, I kind of somewhat played Immortal. It was okay.
Immortal was fun though.
Until it started to get like, I gotta spend money here, and then I was like, yeah, I don't really like how this feels, and so I stopped. But
yeah,
I've only played 3, so I'm kind of like a casual Diablo fan.
Did you play before or after the auction house?
After the auction house.
Okay, good.
So
you played it.
I played the better version, right?
Right.
Where would you? I know you can't really like compare the final build of the game, of course, because it's not out, but for what you played so far, where would you kind of put this game in comparison to 3, 2, and 1?
I think it's a really good I think it's really solid on two's ground. Like I think just the overall, like you're a little bit more intimate with the enemies and stuff in this one, which I like the most. Like if you ever notice in part 3, you were a little pulled back more on the camera. This one is a little bit more tighter in. I think the attacks are a little bit more. I feel like the attacks are a little bit more punishing. They're more focused, and it's not like now we haven't got, like you said, we haven't got the full game where you see like the ability spam, like when you just see, you know, wizards just raining fireballs from the sky and stuff, which I do believe is in this game. That's why I cannot wait to see what they do when we get the chance to play wizards in the open beta.
Yeah,
But
that's been my
that's what I'm waiting for, because that's my favorite class is the
that
wizard.
that was my favorite class in Diablo 3. So
yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to see there. But I really like the overall combat and the way that they implemented it, and it has like a feel of 2 in it.
Mhm.
But how big some of these areas are reminds me of everything they did inside of Diablo 3. And just the world building and
is
stuff.
it closer to 2 or 3?
It's probably closer to 2, but
Okay.
it's just but just dwarfs the size of 2 in every way, and is even bigger than 3. So I think they took a lot of the innovations from 3 and was like, okay, now we're gonna give people what they really wanted, which was everybody really wanted the best version of 2 that they could possibly get. That's why when they remastered it and did I forget what the name of it was, Diablo 2 Resurrection. When they did that, people thought that was a really good first step. I think this is the full step that everybody wanted them to take inside of 3 that they just didn't do. And now that they have the technology to do it with 4, they're just knocking it out of the park, man. Like this game was literally one of the most played games over the course of last week. It was breaking Twitch records and stuff for a game that wasn't even out yet. Like I know people that literally put 35, 40 hours into just the beta itself. I put 12 hours in it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of people are going to really like what they have from this. But I think it's a lot closer to 2 than 3. But like I said, that's only being able to play half of the classes. Like once we see what wizards and demon hunters and stuff can do, I think
was the necromancer.
Oh, and the necromancer. If they have the same ability spam that they had inside of Diablo 3 with those characters, then yeah, I think it's gonna destroy everything at that point.
Nice. Shout out to Ramon Terrell with the $10 super chat. Says shout out to 3 of my favorite people up in here. Had to sneak in from work real quick.
What up, Ramon?
So I'll have to catch the replay. Shout out to Ramon Terrell. And also,
shout out to you, bro.
Check out Ramon's book. I've been actually reading Ramon's book. I'm just going to turn into a
Which book you reading?
So Ramon is a writer, right? He's also an actor. As we said before, Hallmark Channel's Hall of Fame is Ramon Terrell. He is all of the sad single mom movies. He's in all of them, right?
He's in all of them.
he's the hunky single man that comes into town, right? Seriously, stop. No, seriously, he is. But no, his the book I'm reading is called Unleashed, book 1 of the Saga of Ruination. So it's like a series. It's really good. Like I'm like probably a good 20% of my way through it right now. But like I was kind of like hitting them up with like questions and like, hey, so was this your idea with certain things there? Just it's good to know the author, because then you can just like bounce ideas off of, like, pick their brain or what they were thinking. But if you're into fantasy fiction, it's if you like stuff like I actually kind of feel like it's got a little some vibes of like Harry Potter in there a little bit, but like if you like stuff like Game of Thrones ish, if you like stuff like Brandon Sanderson kind of stuff, I think you'll like this book. I like it so far. But yeah, again, shout out to Ramon. And
I have his book. I have one of his books here too.
Oh, okay. See. Like Ramon, he's getting around, man. He's getting around. What have you
started? I haven't got a chance to start it yet, but I have Revenge of the Nymph, the Fairy Volume 2. So
Yeah,
looking forward to diving into that soon.
yeah, that'll be the next series I jump into after I finish this one. I did a. I was about to say. Okay, now I caught it. Eric, are you a Diablo fan at all? I can't remember if you've ever played these games.
Yes, I played. I never played Diablo 1 or 2. I did play Diablo 3. I'm looking forward to getting into Diablo 4. So tomorrow starts the open beta?
Yes.
Yes.
It might start at midnight
And,
tonight. I don't know for certain. I do know I got a notification on my phone from PlayStation saying I could do the preload if I wanted. But
I'll be in there as soon as that thing goes live on PC.
I might have to do that too. Go ahead, bro.
But I love Diablo 3, so I'm definitely looking forward to Diablo 4. I wouldn't call myself like a hardcore Diablo fan. Like I know people that eat, sleep, breathe like everything about like the series. I wouldn't say I'm that person, but I love like the world. I love the characters. I love the art style. 4 looks bananas.
Yes.
Like absolutely insane. Just wanted to see it.
Looker.
And Forte's 100% right. It was so the things that I get hyped for when I go on the timeline, and the things that kind of energize me is when I see people putting down, the weapons, and they're literally just talking about the game and hype and sharing that and sharing the experience, talking about what was going on, talking about how it just kind of took over their life. And we don't get that wave very often, but this game seems to be the wave.
Right.
Like people that were in there that, were in the closed beta were like, I didn't see many people. I think Jackie had some words about it, but I didn't see many people pissed off or upset, as far as giving like their feedback. They overall like what was there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Is it crossplay?
Yes,
it is.
It's with crossplay for all platforms. So like it's I don't know if the crossplay capability is already active in the betas, but it will be at launch. It'll be crossplay everything, so it won't even it won't matter if you're playing on PlayStation or Xbox or PC. You'll all be able to play together. Me personally, like
awesome.
Like I said, I only played 3, but like when I got in on 3, like me and my buddies played it, and then when they stopped playing it, I just kept going. Like I beat the game, I hit max level. I was like, but dang, do I start another character? Because like I said, I had the wizard. Do I start another character? What do I do? And it was just like, oh no, we got this whole system that I'm telling you, Blizzard, old school Blizzard. It's so innovative, because like what they did with their system, where it's like you just continue to kind of level up, right? You're getting, stat increases and getting stronger. I forgot what they called it, but like I would just kind of just like increasingly do harder content on harder difficulties, and just keep leveling whatever those like levels were up in certain areas. And I see it now, like the Division does that now with the Shade Tech meter and levels and stuff. And it's just like so many games have implemented Paragon. Thank you, Mitchie dies a lot. Paragon. And I just I think I got that thing up to like level 70 something before I think I was got this. I think Destiny came out, and then I stopped playing it. Go ahead.
My Paragon level was 782 when I stopped playing it. Like when I stopped playing consistently, I should say.
Right. Yeah. Look, one of my coworkers is like that. Like he's a crazy Diablo fan, and his level was just some astronomical level. So I'm not even shocked. But no, I can't wait to play it tomorrow. It's going to be definitely the first thing that I do once I get work squared away, and no one's bothering me for anything that they need me for. But we can move on real quick.
Which is a hard thing to get sometimes with the kiddos, man.
Bro, like, I'd be so glad to have them at school. And finally, where all the sickness gone, all 3 of them will be at school tomorrow, so I won't be having too many of them bothering me. Like that day. I'm like, oh my God, stop.
It'll be a Diablo type day tomorrow, baby.
Mine's on spring break this week.
Oh, really? Like,
spring break for mine. So yeah.
Nice.
Interesting enough, my
spring break for yours is now.
Yeah, this week.
Dang.
Yeah.
And my wife, she teaches virtual for school in North Carolina, and her spring break is a week from now, I think.
So do they have? They don't
Yeah.
have a break in February, do they?
No. No.
Okay, yeah. So y'all just have the winter break and then no break again till
Winter
now.
break and then spring break and then summer break. Yep.
Yeah, see, yeah, ours is different, yeah, because ours is winter break and then their spring break is technically in February,
That's
at the
pretty
end of
weird.
February. So 3 weeks before spring even hits, they call it spring break. It's the last week of February.
That is so weird
Oh,
considering. Yeah, I've never.
It's still
Yeah.
winter. Yeah.
Yeah, but my kids. Well, some of my kids have already actually been on spring break too. It was a week ago, but my other son, his is until next month. But anyway, we can move on.
Mm.
Interesting nugget of information that came out today. There is a Ninja Turtle game in development, and it is
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, and it is really exciting. I haven't got the opportunity to read the graphic novel. Me and reading has not been. Gaming has taken over my reading hobbies. This is the reason why I'm just getting around to reading Ramon's books. I'm even worse with my comic reading. Like, I'm so far behind everything. But like, I do have the whole entire Last Ronin graphic novel. I got the entire thing.
Mhm.
I just haven't read it yet. But essentially, it's the story of the last turtle, which is Michelangelo. The other three are dead.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Mhm.
what happened?
Dope story. Yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic almost
Yes, and so
type thing. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
making a game based off of this. It's supposed to be influenced by, of course, like nearly everything now, influenced by God of War. But this is actually a game because of course, you remember when the last time we talked about a game that was influenced by God of War, I was pissed because it was Dragon Age, and Dragon Age is an RPG. It don't need to be influenced by freaking God of War, but a Ninja Turtle game using the dark comics, kind of not the happy-go-lucky, hey, we're eating pizza and we're drinking orange soda, like not that kind of Ninja Turtles, like straight up killing folks.
Right.
Ninja Turtles is what I'm talking about, and
Like
that
Bloodbath Ninja Turtles.
yes, and
OG, Ethan and Larry, even going back to when they all had they didn't have the distinguishing colors like in their face masks and stuff like that. They were just like murking people.
yeah, and it's just like it is. I like to see the game focused on that. Now, and look, I got gameplay from Shredder's Revenge, which is awesome game. It takes you back to like Turtles in Time, which is like one of back in the day was one of my favorite games back in the day. I played it on Super Nintendo, which was the superior version. But all the Ninja Turtle games that you get are always very focused on like the cartoony, like the movie, like themes and very kid friendly atmosphere, where like the comics weren't like that, so like I wanted to see something that goes there with them for once, and it seems like we're going to get that with this, I haven't read it myself, but it seemed like awesome storyline. So like Eric, you seem like you've read it already, right?
Yeah, I have. I want to say I got like a few pages left. Like I haven't actually finished the whole thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fire though, bro. It's such a good story, and dark. It is. It's got a feel to it, man. Where it's just so. So I'll say this: as I'm reading through it, that damn sure crossed my mind. I was like, this will make a fire video game if someone ever decided to do it. And obviously, somebody was thinking about that. Because you can't pick that up and not think in terms of this would be an insane game, So
yeah, and also it's like,
so anybody who's a fan, definitely pick it up.
Yeah, and if you kind of think about like the weapons that they use, and that they're fighting ninjas, foot soldiers, that kind of stuff, and you kind of look at that in like a God of War kind of combat. You can see how it really, really works for that. Now, my question for you guys is, because we don't know, like Paramount said that it's in development, but they didn't admit who is actually like developing the game. So I kind of figured, since it's already a topic, what would be our picks for the developer to make this kind of game, a Last Ronin Ninja Turtle game that's like in that kind of third person perspective, over the shoulder combat, God of War kind of combat, from 2018 in Ragnarok. Like, who would you tap to do that kind of game? And Forte, you can go first.
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow. It's kind of simple.
You completely got nothing.
It's kind of simple, man. It's like, why? I mean, who makes some of the best third person over the shoulder, like, superhero action games? I mean, you know, Rocksteady would be my first choice, all day, every day.
Oh,
for something
Rocksteady.
like
Okay. Okay. I thought you were just gonna say, well, Sony Santa Monica, duh. Like
No. I'm talking about, because Santa Monica would be amazing for that. But if I had to for the superhero aspect of it, you know, I think from a narrative, now the Ronin story is more narrative based than anything, so that would be something really, really good that Santa Monica can tackle. But I also think Naughty Dog can tackle that too. But I think if you want to nail the gameplay as much as you possibly can, I think you couldn't go wrong with what Rocksteady is doing with their gameplay and stuff. Especially if you look at, as much as I loathe the fact that I might play Suicide Squad, you cannot say that.
Look,
You
I like
can't
the
say
way
that combat, that aerial combat doesn't look like freaking fire, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Can
Look,
you
it
imagine? Can you
looked
imagine
good, yo.
Michelangelo just flying all over the place? It'd just be crazy. That's why I think that they would be my first choice, 100%.
Okay. Eric, I hope you don't say my choice. I hope, but I'm gonna let you go first. Go ahead.
I almost want you to go first now to see if you do have my choice. But
Okay.
Let me see. No, I'll go first.
Okay.
I want to shout out Blade X, because he threw somebody in. I don't even know why I didn't think about it, but he said slow clap.
Slow clap, yes, because they did Sifu, and you know what?
Yeah,
that would freaking work.
You know what? That's a good pick.
That is a damn
good pick.
That is a great pick. But like, shout out to Blade X.
That's an
awesome pick, because you know, especially after Sifu, they would nail it. They would absolutely nail it, and they would nail the tone too. You know, like they would definitely get it. They weren't my pick though. But go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna throw this out just because I think it might be controversial, because they're a polarizing studio, but when they're focused, they can put down some of the best action, like third person.
Do not say platinum.
Don't say platinum.
I'm gonna say
Are you about to say
platinum?
platinum?
Eric, seriously?
It's controversial. Seriously.
This year's platinum?
Look down. Not a B squad, A squad, and like I said, you got to keep focused. I said it's gonna be controversial, but if you look down on some of like their top hack and slash games, they do have some of the better ones in the industry. They just hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
They need like a firm hand to be on top of them. That's the problem.
But like, I would say this is what my fear is with platinum. Their licensed content has been so bad.
Yeah,
like
true.
that Avatar with it.
But that's what I said. They give
was like.
But they give those to the B squad. Anything you give to the B squad is usually garbage. The A squad, which is Kamiya's group, are usually the ones who are on point. That's what I said. You gotta figure out who you're gonna go with. You can't just give it to anybody. You gotta be firm with them. That's what I said. This is a controversial pick. That's what I said. They're not perfect, but when they're focused, they do have some of the best like third person, fast paced action stuff around. They're just they can be messy. That's all.
I don't like I understand it's your pick, because that's definitely not my pick, right? But I get Platinum has been so hit or miss, and I would say probably lately mostly miss. Like I can't, like over the past decade, their
Mm-hmm.
hits have been Near Automata and Astral Chain.
Mm-hmm.
But their misses have been like when they miss by like a country mile. Like it's like if a batter was at bat and
That's
he
what I said. It's
swung and he did a
controversial.
360 and he fell and he hit the umpire with the bat by accident. Like when he fell, like it's like a ridiculous, embarrassing miss, like Babylon's Fall miss, where the game
Mm-hmm.
had at one point like 3 people playing it, and it's like it didn't last a year before they just shut everything down. Like that's how they miss it. So like I don't know if I honestly don't even know if Platinum is who they were when they did their last good games. You know. Go ahead.
Right,
You
and
about
like
to
V
say
Money,
something?
he brought up TMNT. Like they did a TMNT game and it was garbage. I think that was also BC Squad. That's what I said. You can't give it to BC Squad. That's what I said. It's a controversial pick.
All right, look,
They're still a talented dev because you still got, like you said, it's definitely hit or miss. Like their 2 most current notable ones are still like you can still say Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta's combat is still great. I know Bayonetta 3 was polarizing for some people compared to like 2. I think 2 was like I haven't finished 3 yet, but 2 was like fantastic. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a controversial pick. They're a controversial studio, but I think if they have the right firm hand, then they could probably deliver it.
I'm gonna tell you guys my pick, and I feel like you guys are gonna have an aha moment. Like, aha!
Okay.
I like that one. Sucker Punch.
Now, see, I
Go
thought
to
about
Tsushima.
studios like that. Right. And I'm saying before you go there, it is a aha. But I thought about that, but then I was thinking, are you gonna make that an exclusive title?
True.
Because they're not gonna,
That's why I didn't
thought in terms of right. That's why I didn't go there because I thought
that's why I didn't.
You think Insomniac, you think so. You could obviously think them. They would damn sure make a damn like awesome.
Yeah.
But that's
why I didn't go Santa Monica or anything because of that.
Right.
But I kind of feel like Sucker Punch would be better than Sony Santa Monica for this style of that kind of game because it is very much it's very much like Japanese based samurais, ninjas, katana blades, like it's like God of War is more into like mythological Greek and Norse mythology stuff. Like this is more down Sucker Punch's alley, and I think I actually would like, considering how Ghost of Tsushima was done, I would love to see and again I haven't read Last Ronin, so I don't know like the atmosphere and the setting completely, but can you
that was the other reason why I was thinking some of that.
Yeah, you like picture however it is depicted and illustrated in the graphic novel, and imagine Sucker Punch creating that world the way they created the island of Tsushima. Like I just think it's like, and you know what? If it's good, make it exclusive. I don't care as long as it's the best guy to get the job. It's the best guy to get the job done. If you don't like it, go buy yourself a PlayStation, and that's gonna be a theme. You're gonna hear from me today. If you don't like it, go buy the piece of hardware that it's gonna be on. Look, hey, it would if it's. I hope it's Sucker Punch, and I hope it's a PlayStation exclusive. So sue me, because it would be awesome.
See, it
would be awesome.
Because when you throw that out, there were other like devs I had. Like I thought, like Capcom came to mind. Like the Devil May Cry type combat. Team Ninja, if they weren't so focused in on like Souls-like right now, could probably do something cool with that too. But their lane seems to definitely be Souls-like. And I don't want this type of game to be a Souls-like because everybody chases that trend.
I'm being messy in the chat. No, I think, yeah, I think we all have like quality choices, you know, and I could actually see, I actually almost kind of want to see like a prototype from all three of these developers,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
to Paramount on what their kind of game would look like, because I think they would be fundamentally different, especially like even though I'm kind of harping on Platinum, and especially in the chat, right? But
That you are.
Well,
Platinum,
that's probably why I threw them in there, because I knew it would get like a good reaction. Like I said, they're a polarizing studio.
right? But their penchant for how they do their combat and how intricate and complex it could be is something that's unique to them as well. Like if you play Astral Chain,
Yeah.
like Astral Chain is like the way they wove all that together with the various different like things that you have to kind of manage as you're fighting with your like this I forgot what it's called, but like you're kind of like fighting with this other entity, like a machine kind of entity with you, and you could sometimes
Mhm.
fight together, and then other times you're like you're fighting on your own, but also uh this other part that's kind of like attached to you kind of is also you're directing their fighting as well, and it's like it was done well, and I don't think many developers could do something like that. But it's just, again, you're right, it has to be the A team. It can't
No,
be
it can't be B and C
it
squad.
can't be the interns or Kamaya just like
Interns.
throwing it to
Right.
guys that just walked in the door. Like I just got hired by Platinum. Now I'm lead director on the Ninja Turtle game. Like no, don't do that.
Right.
No. It's gotta be team A. It can't be team B. But no, I would love to see what they all can do. Moving on.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I ask you this before we move on? Because who's that? Shadow Spade he had a good thought. Like, why play it safe if it's a what if, right? So if
Mhm.
you had like an up and coming studio, or let's say like a studio that's been, they may not be the most well known or the biggest yet, but if you can give them funding to do it, who would you throw it at?
That goes
Say, all right,
back to
guys,
Blade
this
X's
is your shot.
that goes back to Blade X's suggestion. Slow clap.
Yeah.
I would give them
Slow clap, definitely.
all the funding in the world. Like what here's a blank check. You tell us how much you need. You tell us how
Mhm.
much you need to expand your studio to make this a AAA banger. And I think they would nail it. They would absolutely nail it. But if you talk about I mean indie developers, maybe maybe the dev that did what's the name of the game? It's literally, I've been literally talking about this game earlier. It's two black twin brothers run the studio. They were an animation
Oh
studio.
yeah. The McKenna,
Yeah,
I can't think of their name right now.
Painted Richer Spirits, and
Painter.
the
Oh
developer
shit, yeah.
is, what's the developer's name? Forte. Help.
Ooh, what's the name of that developer? I drawing a
Chat.
blank on him.
Help. Why can't I remember this?
I'm
Ember
that.
Labs. There we go.
Ember
Thank
Labs.
you.
Yeah, Ember Lab.
Ember Lab.
Ember Lab. That might be because they know how to world build and handle atmosphere.
Yeah. They handled the one thing that I was concerned about them making their first game was how would the gameplay be, and they kind of nailed it.
Right.
And it wasn't even
Yeah.
easy. Like it was kind of like people was getting kind of triggered.
No,
People was getting bodied by those bosses.
Them bosses. That first big boss, man. The number of people that quit after him.
That game wasn't no pushover.
It wasn't at all.
No, that game wasn't no pushover.
Yeah, I think I think not only that, animation, they would nail the cutscenes. They would make it sing. Like they would make the game look beautiful and look like the Ninja Turtles. Like look like how they look in the comics, not goofy. Look at my orange, elbow guards. Like no, not that. Like look like the freaking Ninja Turtles and have it look awesome. And they would just like they're a legit animation studio that is now a game developer, and they have a skill set that not other indie developers have. I think they would be pretty good at this too.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good pick, man. That's a good pick.
All right, well, here's this other thing that happened. So it's GDC week. It's game develop. There's actually two things going on right now. There is PAX East, which shout out to the Iron Lords podcast. They're out there right now enjoying themselves.
Shout out to them.
And there's PAX East going on this week, and there's also the Game Developers Conference going on this week. And emphasis is on game developers. It's a conference for game developers. I want to keep saying that so that people understand that when you see things from a game developers conference, it is created to showcase things for game developers. So when people see things on their timeline and they're like, why would they show this? That's not what we want to see.
Why would they show this?
That's because it's not for you, stupid. Because it's not for you. Now, I just wanted to say that, multiple times so people would get the hint and not be so freaking stupid. But anyway, moving on. We saw some stuff from Epic Games' State of Unreal, and I don't think they've done this since maybe for a couple years, but this I thought was actually really, really awesome. Some of the things that they show, so much so that I was just clipping it straight and just ripping it, putting it on Twitter, so as many people can see how amazing some of the stuff was. And so I do play Fortnite. Not as big into it as I was last year when Zero Build first came out, but I still play Fortnite, but I mostly playing the developer created stuff, like the Zero Build mode is what I play exclusively. But people don't realize that 50% of the people that play Fortnite, this is a lot of people that play Fortnite, but 50% of those people are playing the creative modes, the modes that are being created by other just, fans of Fortnite and gamers. And so now, I don't know if it's on Unreal Engine 5 yet, but when Epic Games put Fortnite on Unreal Engine 5, they only put the developer created stuff on Unreal Engine 5. Even last year, I remember even checking it last year, because people would talk about some modes that were pretty cool, and I would check the mode out, and I'm like, it's all right, but it's still on Unreal Engine 4, So it wasn't it didn't have a lot of features. It looked kind of dated and stuff. But what we're seeing right now is what they showcased was Unreal Engine 5.2 and all of its features. And really the entire show was based upon really kind of showcasing what Unreal Engine 5.2 is going to have in store for game developers. And everything that was shown there was stuff like this here, which is even though this technically isn't for game developers, but people who are kind of like game developers, because you're creating content within a game. And so in Fortnite Creative, what you're seeing right now was technically created by the Epic Games staff, but it's something that they created with the tools that will be available for Fortnite creators. And this is just a boss fight the two guys are doing, and it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy looking.
Yeah, it looks insane, and I think that seeing that, and that this is supposed to be coming out later this year, which take that with a grain of salt, because that their timelines are always, they never really hit their timelines. They always say this is going to come out at a certain period of time, but we're going to have this running on Fortnite at a certain period of time, and it shows up 6 to 8 months later. So they say later this year people will be able to create stuff like this in Fortnite. I'm going to say probably early next year, to be realistic. But E, what are your thoughts about this kind of capability, and what do you think about Fortnite and what that means for Unreal Engine in the future?
Well, consider I'm not a Fortnite player, but I'm looking at this and it looks insane. So explain it to me what it is essentially. So you have a creator mode, so people can literally create content, almost dare I say a level builder, where
It's like
type of thing.
Roblox. It's like Roblox.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're using
Okay.
so like look, this character, this woman that's like this is she is a skin that's in Fortnite. You can buy her skin.
Okay.
All the animation, the running
Sounds like
animation.
Joanna Dark.
Yeah, like look, the running animation and everything that you see, all that is exactly how all the characters in Fortnite run. The other guy is using the character Fishstick, who is another skin in Fortnite. So basically all the assets that you see right now are all assets that are in the game. And so what would you see with like these Fortnite modes? For example, I remembered that someone recreated a Destiny PvP map in Fortnite.
I do.
And
I remember that.
And I can't remember, but Forte probably remembers the name of the map. But you could actually play that map, and the weapons that were available to you were the weapons in Fortnite that were similar to Destiny weapons, and it was only those weapons. And it played out just the way the Crucible plays out. Like people can create things like that in Fortnite Creative. There's someone recently created, and I saw a version of it, a clip of it on Twitter earlier this week, and it looked amazing. But Call of Duty Domination. Someone had recreated a map from an older Call of Duty game and had that playing, and people were playing that already. And so it's like it's literally kind of like Roblox, but it's running on Unreal Engine, and everything that you have at your disposal as far as assets and tools to make what you want to make is all the stuff that's in Fortnite.
Right. See, because me, like personally, like I don't care about like the battle royale stuff of Fortnite, like at all. Like, but if somebody was making like this kind of thing, like a co-op, like boss rush mode, I might play that. You know, I'm looking at this, I'm like, I kind of wish like Epic would make like a single player / co-op, like 4-player co-op drop in drop out type game, just to kind of supplement and kind of go with Fortnite, because I'd be more interested in that as opposed to like the multiplayer battle royale stuff, because that looks crazy. Like what I'm looking at here, when you sent it to me earlier, I was like, shit. That looks insane.
Yeah.
So, and like Blade X said, it's basically like Dreams. That's kind of where my head went. So it's like Dreams, but for Epic and Fortnite. And if people are going to be creating stuff if you have like this, I might check that out.
I don't know if you have enough freedom as you have in Dreams. Like I had some questions about this, because I actually kind of felt like maybe I might want to make something in it, just based off of like how good this looks. And I started asking questions from people who had actually had the chance to do certain stuff. And I asked, like, are you beholden to the game design of Fortnite? Like, can you create something that isn't quite in Fortnite? Can you make a gun that's not in Fortnite? Can you make, if I say I wanted to make a character that uses telekinesis, which isn't something that you can do in Fortnite, can I do that in a game mode?
Right.
And essentially what I was told was I would have to like import that into the Fortnite creator, but like, that is a possibility. So it is kind of like it is their version of Dreams or Roblox. I think Roblox is probably like a more, because like Dreams is, I'm not gonna say Dreams is a dud or anything. I don't really know whether they consider it successful or not, Sony that is, but Roblox is definitely successful. You're probably right. It's probably not, Dreams is probably not successful, but Roblox is a money maker. Like they just burning money.
Yeah.
And I think this is definitely something that would make like the people at Roblox kind of sweat. Like, man, like people can make like because I think what you would kind of be afraid of at Roblox isn't necessarily that like your community will stop playing games in Roblox, but that your creators might stop creating games in Roblox and start creating games in this. And I might kind of get to the second part of why this might be, and something that like in the chat they would say like, yeah, like you create something great and then like Epic would just straight up steal it. Well, before you even start creating anything, you gotta agree that Epic owns what you're creating. With within Fortnite, but they are giving people, so they're giving people a revenue split. So creators are getting a revenue split. Now we don't quite know how it works as far as like whichever modes or games that are created in Fortnite. Like, let's say if Forte makes a game and it's concurrently getting 50,000 people playing it, but then Eric, you make a game that's only getting 15. Like, I'm pretty sure Forte split's bigger than yours, right? But
That's what I was saying.
like, it's not equal. But literally they're saying
Right.
that 40% of all revenue that Fortnite gets once this goes live will go to the creators of Fortnite Creative, which I think is probably pretty I think that's pretty good, considering that you're not going to really own what you're creating. You're essentially you're working for Epic in a way. I think they know, as someone who is I'm a part of the creator program with Epic, so I have a code like hey, and let me go plug myself real quick. Hey, if you are on Fortnite and you buy something, just put in that support a creator code /, please. Thank you. I appreciate you. Anyway, they revised that recently, because part of that supporter creator program was that if I created something, I didn't even realize this, I wish I did, but if I created something in Fortnite, I could put my code on it, and then everyone who, like, say bought things that were like somehow tied to that mode, I would get credit for it. But they kind of like took that out. So I guess that was like the downside of having to give 40% of all the game revenue to the creators of the modes that weren't also just straight content creators like myself. So it's a little weird how they're doing, how they had to kind of make changes there. But you know, all that said, Forte, what are your thoughts about this whole thing? And I know you, like, your daughter is big on Roblox. Is she still? Wait, I know at one point she was big on Roblox. Is she still big on Roblox?
She still is. She still is. She was playing. Roblox actually has like a Call of Duty clone in there that she's been playing. It's like, what are you playing? Call of Duty? And she's like, no, it's Roblox. I was like, what? And I look at it, I was like, yo, this looks really good for Roblox. It looks like Call of Duty. But no, this, when I showed it, I showed it to her when you sent the link. I texted to her, and she's like, yo, is that Fortnite? I was like, yeah. She was like, wow, I can't wait for that to hit the game. So, like, dude, it looks incredible. The fact that this is something that the more impressive thing is the fact that they're going to, you know, basically monetarily be giving people money for the works that they put in, which is always a great thing. It would just incentivize people to make the best that they can possibly make, and, you know, all cream rise to the top when it comes to that. Second, it just proves and shows that, you know, Epic knows what they're doing when it comes to game engines, and they know how to promote Fortnite. All these assets are already there, and it looks like a next gen version of Fortnite. This looks like the Fortnite that everybody thought was going to be the PS4 and Xbox Series and PS5 and Series X version of the game. And this is basically what we can kind of look forward to later on in the generation, when they finally get to the point where we can start doing this, and seeing this in games and stuff. And I just think that man, this looks incredible, bro. When I saw it, I was like, yo, this is a game, you know, because a lot of people don't play Fortnite because they say, oh, it looks too cartoony. It looks like so anime-ish and stuff. This would actually get people to probably play Fortnite outside of just the look of it, because I know once they took the building out and said we got no build mode, that was one step. But some people still don't play, say, oh no, it looks too kiddie, I don't want to play it, blah blah blah. I think this would actually be another step into getting more people to play the game, because, you know, as much as we say visuals don't matter to the majority and to the masses, it does matter when it's a game that, you know, everybody's playing. When they start saying, like, why is everybody playing this game? And then all of a sudden they say, yo, this game looks fire, it looks really good, it doesn't look like a cartoon anymore. And I think that's the one thing that people are going to be looking
I don't
forward to.
even
But
think like people kind of feel that way now. Like once they started, like when they came out with when they put it on Unreal Engine 5 and they really started to show off what the Lumen and the Nanite looks like, you know, in actual real world application to a game, and people that like have like sworn off Fortnite. I'm never playing that game. That game, that's what all the casuals play. You know, the people who act like they was too good to play it was like, man, let me go ahead and install that. You know, they can start, you know, playing the game and you know, probably getting washed. But like playing the game and seeing how beautiful the world was, and like, man, this is like really good. Like this game looks really great, and it's just, I think that, I mean, I've always kind of noticed that when it came to Fortnite, that like Epic, ever since it became their cash cow, they've been kind of using it as also like their show pony for the Unreal Engine.
For everything, yeah.
Yeah, so whenever they do something new and awesome and great, they show it off on Unreal Engine. And they show it off on Fortnite so that people know, hey, look, yeah, you could, this works. You can put it in game and it actually works. Although, frankly, I don't know how many Unreal Engine 5 games are out already. It's just like nearly 3 years into this new generation, and since we've seen Unreal Engine 5, and how many games are running on Unreal Engine 5 right now? I can't.
Not that many.
I mean, outside of Fortnite, I can't think of too many. So it's
a lot of them in development. I know that.
Yeah, there are a ton in development, but it just seems like kind of like how
isn't Hellblade running in Unreal 5?
Yes, it is, and that's a great segue to the next thing that I wanted to talk about.
You're welcome.
So, the other thing that they showed, and I did a video about this when I did a video about black hair in video games, and it was about, part of that video discussed MetaHuman, which is a AI technology that Epic has created, and not only does it make realistic looking black hair and kind of gives no excuse for developers to not have good looking hair in a video game, but it also has realistic looking people and faces and all kinds of other stuff. And so during their GDC conference, they brought the actress who plays Senua from Hellblade 1 and 2 on the stage, and then they had her with an iPhone take 3 selfies. Like each selfie was like a side of her face, one side of her face, and then the front. And then they had her read a script and kind of like do some kind of facial acting with that script too. And then she uploaded it to them, and like 2-3 minutes later, they had like integrated her video and her selfies into MetaHuman. Had already had her mocapped. Work that kind of takes like 3 to 4 months to really get done was done in like a few minutes, according to them. I'm not a developer. I don't know how long it takes, but that's what they said. They said it takes months to get this done, and they got it done in minutes, which looked awesome. And then after that, they showed this clip that I'm showing right now, which is that same actress doing a part. I guess she said it was a line from the game, but like showed what Ninja Theory used with MetaHuman and with their mocap technology and yada yada yada. So a lot of people had a lot of thoughts about this. Some people were upset somehow. They were upset because they didn't see gameplay at a game developers conference showcasing technology. That's the game developers. They were like, how come we aren't seeing gameplay? Where's the gameplay at? I mean, Forte, what you say, Eric?
It says everything ain't for you.
Shocker. Everything.
Gamers think everything about them. Everything revolves.
Yeah.
People have to go and learn, and people that actually make the money and do these things have to go and learn and get better technology to bring you gameplay.
Right. And I don't think that anybody that was at the game developers conference where this was shown cared about seeing Hellblade 2's gameplay. I just don't think they care.
Right.
It does not benefit them, and it has zero value to them. And it has zero value Epic themselves. You know what has value to Epic? Showing off their latest technology. And if Hellblade 2 is using their latest technology, guess what they're going to show off? The aspects of that game that is doing that. Because it's a game developers conference. It's in the name. Game developers. Not
I don't read.
gamers. Game developers. Not gamers. Or fake gamers, because most of y'all don't play games anyway, but actual game developers, man. So of course they're not showing gameplay. I just thought that was like common sense. Forte, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Man. I didn't, like I said, I didn't expect them to show gameplay. Usually they show tech and stuff like this at these shows, or they're talking about how they want how they want developers to think about their games and move fast instead of lingering, like Bungie said at the last GDC that it said back in 2021. But I'm not gonna harp on that. But yeah, these type of things aren't meant for the overall consumption of what gamers want to see. Like, the tech is cool. It's really cool to see that this is what the future and what everything's to hold. But people thinking like, oh man, we couldn't see anything like this at the Game Awards or something like that. Like, no, this is something that they show to other developers to show what the tech is capable of. And if you did see something like this from the developer, it would probably be in like one of their little Vidocs that they would do. Like, perfect example. They did this before when they walked around and showed off their motion capture studio and stuff, and talked about their ability to just be able to capture the emotion right there on the fly, right there on the set, without having to go out and have to purchase and do anything. They have everything in house. So stuff like this is stuff that a lot of people would love to see, and but this isn't something that you're going to always see. But when I saw it, I was like, yo, this looks crazy. And it's think about when they first showed Unreal 5 off for the first time and they showed it in that PlayStation demo. It looks light years beyond that at this point, and that's only been 2 years ago when they showed that first demo of the PlayStation with the girl running through the environments and stuff.
That was, man. Okay, so the very first reveal
was that 2021?
No. Okay, all right. The Xbox Series X came out in 2020, right?
2020.
They showed the Xbox Series X at Hellblade 2 for the first time a year earlier at the VGAs. So that was 2019.
Yep.
So at the VGAs is when they showed it again, right?
Yeah, when they showed the second trailer with the her running and stuff.
So it's been since 2020.
2020, okay.
So we're looking like 2.5 years.
Yes, this looks incredible, bro. So I can see why people are excited for wanting to see more, and I also think this is just that excitement is also coming from just a pretentious situation where people just want to see more of the games that Microsoft wants to put out, that they need to put out, and we really haven't seen anything from it. So it's like kind of
agree with. We say this every week. Yo, where the games at, bro?
Where the games at, bro?
Yeah, we say it every
I don't care if the
week.
developers and I do understand some people's feelings when it comes to stuff like this, even though I understand that this isn't meant for mass consumption for everybody to see, because it's for the developers to show the tech. Gamers are thirsty, man. They when they see something like this, it's like, yo, why couldn't we have seen this months ago or weeks ago? And see the facials. Like, I'm thinking, man, Hellblade gonna be incredible, bro. The facial animations, because, man, it's gonna be incredible.
But like, even though this is impressive, I still need to say, I still be on the side of, coming from Hellblade 1. I thought the balance between combat and puzzles was off. It was too many puzzles in the beginning of the game. In the first half of the game, not enough combat, and then like all combat, and then almost no puzzles at the end. And I think it should have been some kind of balance there. I think that combat needs to be deeper than what it was. Like you can still go with the same foundation, the same style, you know, the same like theme and the same like look to how the combat looked, but you need to like really deepen it. You need to have more than one weapon. You need to have allow her to be able to like maybe potentially switch different styles. We need to have more than just parry, block, dodge, attack. Like that's literally like all that she had. There was nothing else really there. Not like you know nothing, nothing like abilities to develop skill trees, stuff like that. None of that kind of stuff whatsoever. So like I want more, and hopefully that's what it provides. And I know that's what people want to see. But again, it's like that kind of goes into a deeper conversation that wouldn't have answers that would come from GDC, right? Like this isn't where you get those answers. Where we should be getting those answers is this June at E3. That's where we should be getting these answers about what the combat looks like. And if we don't get those answers June at E3, all the smoke in the world, like a volcano erupting level amount of smoke for them. I mean, am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you should, but that's where the fraudery comes in, because all the people who are upset about not seeing gameplay at GDC, if nothing is shown at E3, then they'll make the excuses for the platform. Well, guys, you know, gaming takes time. You got to be patient. Oh, now you got patience. You see what I'm saying? It's never consistent.
Yeah.
All the patience in the world when it comes to capping for your platform, but you know, yeah.
And I guess
everything else.
I guess it's time to get to this next topic, because this next topic is about to be messy with a capital M. So, Redfall previews came out this week, and I would say probably
a lot of other things on top of that came out this week.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I would say for like to get to what the previews were saying about the game, for the most part, they seem to be mostly positive. It's some of my concerns with the gunplay seems to be a lot of the people that played it said that the gunplay was like it varied from it was very good to it was serviceable, which is I would say a step up from where I would say Arcane's gunplay has been in their previous games. So cool. I'm still on a let me play it first so I can know for myself kind of deal, but that's good to hear. But there's some people that felt it was like they thought the overworld was bland and boring, and some other people thought the story was good, and some people liked the skill tree, some people didn't. But I think overall that the theme was the game had a very positive theme, and also they said that they're working on undoing the always online aspect, so that if you want to play the game offline, you can, which was something that
never been a thing in the first place.
I mean, we all play games online, but hey, apparently people was very vocal about that. So they took care of that. Although I wish they would take care of my concern, which I think is going to be a big problem, which is the lack of co-op story progression. But
yep,
I ain't trying to go harp on that once again. I know what people want to talk about.
It's a good one. It's a good one to harp on.
It's a good hill to die on.
It's a very good hill to die. but like I've said it before on the show multiple times, and I think everyone already knows. Like, look, if you're the host, you're the only one that's getting progress for the story. And I think that sucks, and I think that's gonna hinder people wanting to co-op with one another, and therefore hinder people playing the game long term.
Nobody told me he said, "Man, I'm not playing with nobody else. Everybody can play with me."
And that's how a lot of people take it. That's because they don't want to keep playing the game and doing the same content over again just because they want to do it, help their buddy do the same content that they did. And yeah, people are selfish gamers. That's the reality of it. This is why games like Borderlands gives you credit it gives everyone in the party credit for the progress. So
I don't know. Part of me feels like I'm scared. Is the game short? Is that why they're doing this?
I don't know how. Wait. No, there was one of the previews that I think they talked to Harvey Smith, who is the lead director. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to. I don't want to speak something inaccurately. It's not a short game. I'll say that. I think they said that like if you rush through it, you could probably beat it in like 30 hours or maybe a little
Holy
under
crap, that's not a
30.
short game.
Right.
Damn.
That's
But
not a short game. I
there's
got a problem with this. Then if it's not that,
Yeah.
I would give them a semi pass if it was something like a 10 to 15 hour game, you know. But if you're talking about 30+ hours, there's no. That's incredible, bro. That's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Also,
strange too, Forte, because like for a game built around character-based classes, you know, some people would like to do multiple playthroughs of it. Usually, it's kind of the opposite. It'd be like a 10 to 12 hour playthrough.
Right.
So that's true. Like 30 hours. That's like ooh.
But
Yeah.
then you got, I mean, but then you got people. I think the other thing is, I don't think a lot of people would have a problem with playing with other people and progression not going through. But I just think that it would be like a lot of people want to play with other characters. Like I would want to go through the game with a different character, but if I could do that in a co-op setting with someone else and the progression still be there, then I would be more likely to say if I'm playing my own game, I want to play with this character. But when I play with somebody else, I'll play with this character. And my progression wouldn't go forward with my other character. Like, you know, if I'm playing with my main character, that's still tied to whatever save I did. But if I play with my friend and I play with a different character, that progression will still be there on that new character, but my old character wouldn't progress. So if they did something like that, I would be fine with, but not having any progression at all when you're playing with your friends, just it disincentivizes people to even want to play with other people.
That's a buzzkill.
Yeah.
And it's a co-op game. What can you imagine playing? Can you imagine going into Borderlands and not wanting to play with? And some people do it,
Right.
but not wanting to play with other people in Borderlands. That's the whole purpose of Borderlands.
Yo, and that's why I just like, maybe I just come from the school of thought like this is how every co-op game should be, because Borderlands came out over a decade ago. And Borderlands 2 is one of the best looter shooters ever and has a massive community of people who still play the game today. And for years and years, a linear story experience with a ton of extra expansions and content. But the kind of game that people would just keep playing over and over and over again with other people. And it's like, you desensitize people doing that. If it's like all I'm getting out of it, I may get progression from my character out of it and maybe the gear that I earned in it, but if I gotta go back into my world and do the same exact stuff again and then maybe hope that somebody joins me, like it's probably not gonna be your buddies. You might have to go randoms or something. It's just like,
no, they did drop in, drop out where you could you can load up and play the game with other people, and it match makes you into different. When you're doing the level, you get match made in with people. I'm good with it then to an extent. I mean, even then, I'm not really that good with it, but at least that way, if you wanted to play with other people, it's if people want to join a matchmaking pool and do that, then they kind of know that, hey, I'm playing this game with somebody on someone else's server. But then how would the game even decipher whose game it is at that point? So it's all messed up though.
And yeah, look, I get you keep your weapons and you keep your levels like that you may have earned when you played with someone else who was the host. But look, I've done that. I did that just very recently playing Remnant from the Ashes. Awesome game. Playing it with the Ash and Luca. And
Shout out there.
And we were enjoying the game so much that in the beginning we did not mind doing the same content twice. It also kind of helped that there was a little bit of RNG with the bosses. So sometimes you wouldn't get the same boss even though you were running into the same content again. So that kind of kept things just a tad bit fresh. But over the course of the game, it started to get annoying.
Right.
And over the course of the game, you kind of just don't want to, like, we literally just beat two bosses and we're at like a certain junction point where the story is going to hit like another chapter. All right, let's stop here. why are we stopping here? Because we got to do this again tomorrow on
Right.
your game with you hosting. And frankly, I just don't want to get too far where we got to go so far back to do this over again. That's annoying. And I think it's something that like gamers understand, but game developers don't understand because they're not on our side of things, and they just kind of feel like, well, my content's awesome. Why wouldn't I want to play this over and over and over again? I mean, I play it over and over and over again, but you do it because you're testing it. You're seeing what works. You're trying to make sure that everything is works within this game design, skill trees, yada yada yada. But it's not necessarily for enjoyment.
Right.
I'm on the other side of it. I'm playing it for enjoyment. And maybe I just don't like your content as much as you do. And frankly, I don't want to do it again. And like it really doesn't like. Now, I'm not saying guaranteed I won't want to play that content again. Because when I play Borderlands 2, I can't tell you how many times I ran through the story just to keep leveling up characters and getting better loot and farming bosses, yada yada yada, right? But that's something that you don't know the player is going to be down for before you make it. And I just think
before
that
you make the decision.
yeah. And again, with that game Borderlands, they made it so, hey, if you did the content already with someone else, a box will pop up. You want to skip this? You can replay it if you want, but you can skip it because you already did it. And that's all I'm asking for, to be able to skip content that I've already done. But let's let's get into
That's
some
crazy.
of the controversy that's been going on about this, right? So it turns out that there was a PS5 version, a PlayStation 5 version of
Shocking.
Redfall.
Shocking.
And Harvey Smith, the creative director, said, "We were acquired by Microsoft, and it was a change with a capital C. They came in and they said, no PlayStation 5. We're focused on Xbox, PC, and Game Pass."
Mm-hmm.
And then he continued on to say, "It's not very serious. It's even a good decision, I think. It helps to support Game Pass and have one less platform to worry about, one less complexity." And that comes into game, developing a game. The more platforms you have to develop a game for, the more resources are being divided, the less time you have to make sure everything is like all the stuff we all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this week,
Not
man,
all people know that, but
well, they should know that. But this week was interesting, right? Because it just seemed like a lot of people seemed to act as if this was news to them, that a multi-platform publisher, where this game was being developed before they got acquired, had a build for this game on a platform they weren't acquired by. Shocking. Oh man, but Phil said, right? He lied to us. I just it's funny. Because to me, you know what this is, right? Yeah, we all know what this is. This ain't the fakest fake outrage I've ever seen. Look, Phil has lied about some things, okay? VR. Where VR at, Phil? Oh, we don't want to show games too far in the future. Show it Everwild. Oh, we want to show everything that we're doing. Next time they do a show, we're only gonna show stuff for the next 12 months. Phil flip-flops. He wears flip-flops. This man was born with flip-flops on, okay? He's a flip-flopper. But this is where you guys are getting up in arms about. This is what Phil said. The man said, "We put in the games where Game Pass lives. If you ain't got Game Pass, you ain't getting it. And if the game already existed on your platform, we gonna support it. But other than that, you know where it's gonna be."
Game Pass.
Case by case. Case by case.
Case by case
Yeah,
basis.
yeah, case by case basis, which still covers him, right? Because even then, it's like, hey, this is one of them cases where I said it's exclusive, so deal with it. Where's the lie at? Like, y'all,
Be the lie.
the man flip flops all the freaking time, and then this is the one y'all want to be like, oh my god, the lies. Like, bro, be for real. This ain't it. This ain't the one.
This
Not
ain't the
only
one.
some of
No,
y'all,
he said that he doesn't want to take things away. He would get it out.
which he will. He absolutely will.
Right.
Let him get ABK. Let him get ABK.
Mhm.
And we already saw what they said about after 10 years. Well, after 10 years, we think Sony should be able to make a competent competitor to Call of Duty.
Which is hilarious.
Like
Hilarious.
I wish like when they wrote that, like the person who was writing, I wanted to see their face when they was writing to see if they could do it with a straight face. Because frankly,
Right.
they know it's hilarious and they know they're gonna
Yeah.
make it exclusive after 10 years. But you know what? When you own stuff, you can do whatever the heck you want with it.
You own stuff, you have the power.
Right.
You know that kind of statement is sort of like that thing where like I remember like my wife worked for like a private school, right? Like her first year, and they have like ski week, like in February. And one of the kids said to her, "Miss Jackson, where are you going? What country are you going to for ski week?" And she just laughed. It's like, well, you know, I got it like that, player. So it's almost like that statement from Microsoft. It's like, well, it sucks that y'all ain't got the money to buy a whole publisher, but you should be out there competing. You out there competing. You're out
Right.
there saying something to compete with Call of Duty. We ain't do it. We can't. We don't have to do it because we'll just buy it. But we ain't do that
Exactly.
either. But y'all go figure it out.
It's like, which is hilarious, right? It's hilarious that
Right.
that is it's kind of like it's kind of hypocritical because you know, like they wouldn't try to, like, they tried to have Halo compete and we saw how that turned out, right? And they didn't put the resources necessary in to have Halo actually compete with Call of Duty, but they saying Sony should.
Right.
But you could be in that position when you got $70 billion to drop and say we going to buy that. You could talk that talk because you got the money to do so. Fine, but like
Right.
Redfall though, really, this doesn't.
That's the one that got people angry.
This doesn't raise to the level of what he said. He wanted to give games to more gamers, and then he also said he wanted to have content for Xbox. Like, y'all can't pick and choose when his words would be relevant. Like, y'all can't look at every Phil Spencer. Hold on, look at every Phil Spencer interview. And the guy does an interview every other day. Okay, so you probably would have like a laundry, like a encyclopedia of interviews for like last year,
Right?
Because the guy just won't stop doing interviews. And Forte, remember when I said I was like, Phil needs to stop doing interviews, because like, and this is something that BG said.
He's like a teenager on the phone.
Right. But like BG had a great point when he said like, it's like Phil the gamer is competing with Phil the executive, where Phil the gamer wants to give games to everyone, but Phil the executive gotta make executive type decisions, which is providing unique content for his platform. So it's like when it comes to Redfall falls under content that is going to be exclusive for the ecosystem, the Xbox ecosystem. It's not a game that came out and was already on the PlayStation platform. Not only when they acquired ZeniMax Media did you not know the game existed. When you guys first saw the game, the majority of you laughed at it and said it was going to be trash. So why do you care? Here's what my question is. Why do you care about a trash game that you claim you were lied to about? Do you really care, or are you just console warring? Because honestly, it doesn't make any freaking sense. And if you flip it to the other side, I've been consistent about this with PlayStation. Man, where's our Final Fantasy VII remake? Your Final Fantasy VII remake is on the PlayStation. Go get it. Or on a PC. Go get it. If you want to play a game, go to the platform where it is. Because what's the whining going to do? Go ahead.
No, especially the cats that are always like, well, I play on everything, this and that. And I make sure I have everything so I don't miss nothing. Well, you won't miss that. But now you're making it a preference thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, especially with like Final Fantasy, it's like, no, if you play on everything, then what's the problem? Just go pick it up and play it.
Yeah, just go play it on the other platform.
A whole different argument.
It's like, go play it on the other platform, Mr. I own everything and I play everything and I got all this money. Well, all right, spend some of that money on the Xbox and shut up.
Yeah. Like, same dude that say my PlayStation collecting dust.
Yeah.
Well, whose fault is that? You
got $10,000 PC, apparently, right? Spend
right.
You, I don't know why you spent that much money. All right, you got $10,000 PC. You should be able to play Redfall in 8K, 5,000 frames per second. Enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now like, so what are you complaining about it not being on PlayStation? You have options. If you want to play the game, you know what you need to do. It is no different than what the same people have been saying about Xbox guys complaining about certain games not being on their platform. This is the game. You know, Sony has the bigger install base, so they're able to negotiate things with publishers. They make it easier to get deals, to get exclusive content that they didn't actually make on their platform. If you want to play it, you know what you need to do. Get a PlayStation. That's why they made the deal in the first place. Xbox don't got them options. So what they do is they take their large war chest, they drop a fat load, on the desk of these publishers or developers. We own you, your content's ours, and customer, if you want to play their content again, you know what you need to do. Buy an Xbox. It's no freaking different. People try to act like there's a difference. No, the hell there isn't. Get over it. Use your money, buy the games, buy the system, play the games if you actually play games. Because as we said before, a lot of y'all don't play games. So
yes, very true.
I'm off my
like
soapbox. Go ahead.
No, like you said on the whole thing, so like, you know, with what Phil says, or, you know, business and that, it is true. Like, you know, you said Phil will flip flop and this and that, but I also need Xbox dudes to stop acting like nobody knows what Phil is talking about except for them.
Yo,
you didn't understand. You don't understand what he.
Yo, absolutely.
I've worked enough corporate jobs to know when a corporate person is doing corporate speak and talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yes,
you know, like
they all do it. They literally all do it.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
misconstruing what he said. No, plain as day, I see what he's saying. You know, and BG had another good point with that. He's like, he does so many interviews. He says so many things that sometimes he probably doesn't even remember what he said to the last.
Yeah,
that's true too.
And that's why he gets himself in trouble. And they also, like, it's 100% true. You guys, you know, we podcast long. I've said this like too. Like, stop talking so much on Twitter. All of them, stop talking. Aaron with his usual check-in. We're gonna be doing this and this and this, and just wait. It's like, just y'all get this baby bird syndrome with these guys, where it's like they're so thirsty to contact you or get you to follow them or tweet. It's like they believe everything that you say. And just stop talking so much.
Yeah, the Phil Spencer
and just deliver.
Worship the Phil Spencer worship is weird. Like, I don't know why people got act like they hippity hop and flip flop all the way to like this mindset and this logic that like, oh, it was all in the master plan. No, it wasn't. So he just every year he comes up with a new narrative on what he thinks Xbox should be doing. That's
right.
That's the game plan.
You acquiesce to everything.
Like,
right. You acquiesce. I could break it down from 2013 and now. Every pivot that they've made in the space, the fan base, the hardcore base acquiesces to and takes on, and that's the new mantra, right?
Right.
And it's like, my football coach always told me, like, you don't put any man on a pedestal because he puts his pants on one leg at a time. Like he said, the dude that jumps in his pants, that's the dude that you worship. You know, but stop worshiping these dudes. You know, it's like, and allow Phil to be human. Like, if he's gonna trip on his dick, let him trip on his dick. Let him be human, but stop trying to make everybody else feel stupid. you know, he's gonna say things. He's a corporate dude, and BG had it 100% right. You got Phil the gamer, Phil the corporate dude, right? But they also have this thing where the fan base has given them this good guy image, and they're desperate to hold on to it at every turn, and that's when they step on the rake. It's like, you're not gonna always be the good guy. Some people gonna get hurt. I shouldn't say hurt. To me, that's a dumb equation to put with gaming type stuff. Somebody gonna be mad.
Here's the weird thing is that it's like people act like he's like this dominant force in gaming, and he's taking over everything, right? And they champion that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the people that act like he's Uncle Phil. Hey, there's only one Uncle Phil, okay? It ain't him.
Only one.
Amen.
It's only one Uncle Phil.
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. You know, like there's only one Uncle Phil. He ain't Uncle Phil. This is just Phil. He's Phil Spencer, the executive. He's not going to go hang out with you. He's not. You know, like he plays games with some of you guys, like two, not all you guys. Like you're not buddies with him. This is his job.
Right.
And these guys will try to demonize Jim Ryan for what Jim Ryan's doing, but frankly, if the roles were reversed, Phil Spencer would be doing what Jim Ryan's doing right now.
I said that too. Like, if it was a Freaky Friday scenario where they flip companies, and Phil went to work for Sony and Jim went to work for Microsoft, they would take on whatever role they need to take on for whatever that company's way forward is.
Right.
You know?
Phil Spencer would be telling Lulu, right. Phil Spencer would be telling Lulu, I don't care about a deal. I want to block your merger. And Jim Ryan would be throwing money up in the air like Scrooge McDuck and buying anything and everything he could get his hands on. They are literally just executives playing the hand that is dealt them. And it doesn't make them evil. It doesn't make one guy evil. It doesn't make another guy a saint. They're like you said, they're just human beings out here. And frankly, like, it's weird that people demonize one and then idolize the other, and then back and forth for literally depending on which color that you bleed. You know, they act like the other is the opposite. And all I'm saying is, this ain't the hill. Redfall is not the hill to say Phil Spencer's a liar on. There's a lot of other stuff you can say Phil Spencer lied to me about.
Mm-hmm.
But this ain't it.
And it's like I asked you guys last night on Brad, like, but what's the end game with it? Okay, so Phil lied. Then what's next?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, got him. Okay, what's next? You know? Probably won't be the last time he said something that, you know, didn't quite make sense or went sideways.
Yeah.
Welcome to corporate America.
Forte, you mad quiet over there. What are your thoughts, sir, man?
I'm just listening to this. It's like, you know, it's crazy to me when I sit there and I just listen to and think about it. The fact that people really believe that there wasn't a PlayStation version, and I'm like, there was always a PlayStation version. It just happened to get canceled because Microsoft said we wanted to be exclusive to our platform, and it gave them a reason to do it. But outside of that, you know, then the whole Phil Spencer lying and everything, it's just, you know, people just try to find some way to have their narrative make sense to them. And that's the one thing that I've always loathed about the community is like, we just can't be wrong, or we just can't be like this, just the way it is. You know, the conversation is they're going to make the games exclusive. This was like a conversation for over a year until it finally actually happened. And then, you know, they finally announced that, yeah, Bethesda games are going to be exclusive. And, you know, I think it's just a lot of different things that happen from that. I'm not shocked at all. As soon as I saw the news, I was like, this is definitely not news, but everybody's going to make it news because it's a talking point, and one side is going to be like, see, told you they're going to take games away. Now, I do think that this does kind of help Sony in the interim right now due to like all the stuff that's going on with regulators and stuff. Like, hey, they just got that motion filed that they have to reveal like all the stuff that's going on with the ABK, not the ABK, but with the Bethesda deal.
Well, oh yeah,
Yeah.
the ZeniMax deal and
It's
everything.
ZeniMax deal because
Yeah.
they said, "Hey, you said you the way you were talking before. How do we know you're not going to do this with ABK?
But the thing
Even
is
though
that
we already
they
know that's
didn't.
going to happen."
They were
Go ahead.
they were intentionally vague.
Very
Publicly.
vague.
Like I remember the back and forth. I remember the Colin Moriarty saying they would be fools to not keep everything
Not to keep everything
multi-plat,
exclusive.
and using words that Phil Spencer said that justified his reasoning. I remember people being on the exact opposite side using words that Phil Spencer said and Matt Booty said to justify that it would be exclusive. And they never were definitive about anything. And anytime an interviewer asked them a direct question about it back then, they will always lean on well, legally we can't answer that question yet, which is funny because legally they answering that question like crazy right now. But like back then they were just, well, legally we don't own it yet, so we can't say what we would do with it. But like clearly they were trying to hide the fact that they were definitely going to keep it exclusive, because as we saw, once they got the official word on it, they made it exclusive. So like this, like anyone's like, oh well, they told us like these games would be everywhere. That wasn't true. For ZeniMax Media, that wasn't true. And the things they're saying now, for like it's obvious what they're doing now. They are saying whatever it takes to get regulators to approve this deal. So whatever year period you want to put on ABK, just as long as it's not indefinite, they're fine with. They might go beyond 10 years. We don't know, right? But like, there will be an end date. And when there's an end date, it'll be exclusive. Go ahead.
Right. No, I was saying, I see like Dorian Gray's throwing out like a bunch of other companies who have made acquisitions and acquired, and you're not wrong in saying that, but the difference is when no one said anything to Microsoft when they acquired X amount of studios until they got to the one that had one of the biggest games in the world in it, and B, it's almost 70, 80 million. Well, 70 million? 70 billion?
70 billion, yeah.
Those are when you get the numbers that Grandpa just woke up from his nap. He wasn't paying attention when you were just running around the house, but when you started breaking shit, Grandpa woke up. So no one's sicking anybody on it, but when you get into that kind of money and that kind of, you're getting into an IP that everybody kind of recognizes, that's why the lights got turned on.
Yeah. But
not many companies can do what they're doing.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure before Sony was like, oh, it's just Ninja Theory. I mean, we like them, we like their games, but I mean, we can eat that loss. It's just Obsidian. We like their games. That's fine. We can eat that loss, right? Then, but then, and I'm pretty sure, and I've said this before, if you kind of look at what they did with Minecraft, Sony expected them to take Minecraft off their platform, and then they didn't.
Right.
And so
yeah, they did.
You spend billions of dollars. I'm pretty sure a lot of people at Sony was kind of thinking the same way Colin Moriarty was thinking. Well, I mean, they spent billions of dollars. You want to recoup your investment. You're not going to take it off of the biggest platform in console gaming. And then they did it. And so you have to have, even though it doesn't make any logical sense for them in 2025, if they got the acquisition and then the of course the marketing deal with PlayStation, once the acquisition's done, they're never getting another marketing deal for COD again. If you get the acquisition, you would have to really truly consider that 3-year deal that they offered right off the break before Sony could say a word, that 3-year deal wasn't for your benefit, it was for theirs. Because they were going to market the heck out of it on Xbox for 3 years and then take it off your platform.
Right.
And they thought maybe 3 years is all we need to shift the balance, which, I don't think that's enough time. And they, they probably, but looking in retrospect, probably agree it's probably enough time. But I think they think 10 years is enough. And notice none of their the word I'm looking for, none of the things that they've delivered, remedies to the EU, the FTC, the CMA has anything to do with Blizzard Games, King Games. They talking like just Call of Duty. They not trying to look. They know what they're doing, and they want to create a platform where we basically bought all this content, and this is where it is. So you have a choice. You can whine about it, or you can play the games and shut up. I mean, that's just like the alpha and omega of it, the beginning and the end of it. You can refuse the play ball and deprive yourself of the content, and maybe it's not all the content that appeals to you anyway. So hey, no big loss. But if you want to play it, you know what you gotta do, bro. And it's the same thing you've been telling Xbox gamers they gotta do for years. Buy the platform, play the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's move on to this last topic because I know we getting a little late in the night. But
Late in the night.
shout out to voice actors, man. I like actors, especially the Hollywood actor types, because they think so little of NDAs because they're
They
like
don't care.
I'm a big actor. What do I care, right? They think so little of these NDAs. You ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna say. If I feel like breaking the street date, guess what I'm gonna do?
Break the street
I'm gonna
date.
break the street date, right? So shout out to Tony Todd, who is I would say legendary actor, at least in my book. The original Candyman, great horror movie from the 90s. He's done great voice acting, and what did he do recently? That was Zoom. He played the villain Zoom on the Flash TV show. I know the show's not that great, but he did a great job. But he's got an awesome voice, and he's playing Venom in Spider-Man 2. And there was a tweet that came out. I think, let me see if I can find what it was talking about. It was a tweet that came out where I think he was responding to somebody on Twitter, and he just very openly stated the game's coming out in September. He said, looks like September! Exclamation mark. Massive publicity coming in August. Commercials start dropping. I mean, he got the whole marketing plan. He probably had the itinerary right in his hand. He was just like just reading it, the list off as he was typing. Commercials start dropping in August. So I'm told, hold on and hold your breath. Going to be necessary. And it's just like, shout out to him. Because we know Sony was angry about that.
Yeah.
We know they was big mad about that. But shout out to him. We got September as the release date. And I think that's freaking awesome. Because you know what else comes out in September?
Starfield. Literally, like what, 4 days later or something? Well, we don't know the exact date. We don't know the exact date. The beginning of the month.
Yeah, Starfield's like September
6th.
Yeah, so that's like the first week of September, and whenever Spider-Man shows up.
Came out September, I believe it was September 7th the year it came out.
Yeah, back in 2018. It doesn't guarantee it's going to be that early again, but we know how Sony don't care.
Should be. It should be the same week.
I don't think Sony afraid of Starfield. I wouldn't be. I mean, I'm not much of a Bethesda fan, so of course I wouldn't be. I know what I'm playing in September. Don't know about you guys, but I'm playing Spider-Man 2. Forget a Starfield.
Yeah, I'll be playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that doesn't have any kind of of course there are going to be people like, well, in a year from now, who's going to be playing Spider-Man over Starfield? Well, you know what? Spider-Man's not an RPG. Spider-Man's not a Bethesda RPG that's intended for you to be playing for and milking you for years. They expect you to enjoy it, have fun with it, and then put it down and play something else. So, yeah, in September, that's what I'm playing. But I think it's awesome. I think that around September, it's going to be very interesting to see how the gaming community chooses where they choose to spend their time. What do you think, Eric?
Well, like you said, I know where I'll be playing. But then again, like you and I kind of share the same feeling when it comes to Bethesda proper versus Bethesda software.
Mm-hmm.
But that's no knock on Starfield. Like I'm hoping that this might be that Bethesda proper game that actually, gets its hooks in me and I actually dig it. Because, I love like Outer Worlds and stuff like that. But I know that was like, Obsidian did the premier Fallout game that everyone loves, Fallout New Vegas. I thought that kind of tracks because I like Obsidian. But no, I'll be playing Spider-Man 2 personally. And if Starfield is good, I'll be playing that. I'm playing that as well, but I'll be playing Spider-Man first.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that both of them, I like the fact that September has the two heavy hitters in it. Or the quote unquote heavy hitters, Because we don't get that very often. I like to see them go head to head.
Yeah, right. Which is like I think that I think it's almost kind of like it wasn't on purpose. I feel like Sony probably internally, like what Tony Todd told us, is probably something that Sony had in the works since the beginning of the year, and just Starfield ending up in September is more to do with the fact that we haven't had any kind of Sony showcase, which is like ridiculous, and Sony deserves all the smoke in the world and then some for going almost 2 years now with no showcase, because there's no information, and so therefore like Xbox just if they wanted to avoid Spider-Man 2, it was hard to do so considering you don't know anything that Sony's doing. No one does, and they intended on Starfield being out before June. It got delayed. Considering it's only a 3-month delay, it's probably more of a polished delay, which frankly good, because you know how Bethesda games launch. I still expect it to have a ton of bugs.
I still expect it to come out buggy.
right, because it's Bethesda, right? So, but regardless, at least they'll have less bugs.
They got to live through their nickname.
Yeah, at least they'll have less bugs.
It's a new engine too, right?
Well, it's the same engine, they just updated. So,
yeah,
but I mean, it'll still be buggy, and it's just less bugs probably than it likely would have had if it came out in May or June, which is fine. But it's kind of like an unintended result, which I'm still all in for, because I think it's going to be an interesting time, and it's been a great year so far. I mean, like, you're going to have Zelda coming out and a lot of other big games dropping, Jedi Survivor and stuff. So like this year is really starting to turn out to be really, really good, especially with some unintended games that were really great. But I mean, like, back to Spider-Man, what Forte, Ari, I don't even know.
Go ahead.
You like Bethesda games?
Yeah, I played.
Well, I know you ain't playing Spider-Man because you didn't play Spider-Man
2018.
Yeah, so
didn't play it.
So I already know which game you're playing. Which camp do you?
I'm playing Starfield just because I'm not really in. The only reason I really wasn't into Bethesda games because I'm not really into the medieval things that they were doing. But I'm super into the sci-fi, so I'm definitely gonna try out. Now, it doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. It just depends on if it's something that sticks with me. But I'm definitely gonna jump into Starfield just because I like that type of aesthetic and that type of atmosphere that they're building in that game. But who knows, man? I might. Wolverine is the one I'm looking forward to. God dang it! I'll wait for that.
I mean, that's gonna be a while though.
That's the one I'm waiting for. I'll be there day one for that one.
I kind of feel like Wolverine might be like 2025.
It might be 2025. I think they'll give it like a. But then again, we are talking about Insomniac here, and they do turn out games like water.
Yes, they are the most consistently high quality developing studio that's out there. So if anyone can drop it in 2024, somehow it's them. But I just kind of, I mean, I just think, like, realistically, even though they are amazing at being able to be efficient in how they develop their games, I still kind of feel like 2025 is just more realistic.
I agree. I agree with that.
But I mean, which one? Okay, this will be my last question on it.
No, ask more. I like when you talk.
Which one's going to review higher? Because we already know which one's going to sell more. it's going to be Spider-Man because with
I think initially Spider-Man would sell more.
I could agree with that
initially
because
Initially.
PC gamers don't care for Game Pass. They will buy it on Steam, and that's primarily where the Bethesda like in-house community really is. And we saw how Skyrim. So yeah, I think initially, like the holiday season, Spider-Man will sell more, and then like maybe 2 years down the road, we see that like Starfield is still selling or whatever.
Yep, that's why I think.
What
That's
do you
where I
think?
think it is.
E?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, but which one do you think ends up selling more?
Oh, yeah, that did. Honestly, I think for what you just said, I think Starfield will sell really well, like on Steam. But you got the Game Pass factor on the console side of it, right? But I
Right.
think overall, I think overall, like Spider-Man will probably sell more, but it'll be hard to tell because again, Microsoft doesn't release numbers, so
Right.
we might not know either
That's
way.
true. Might
We'll
not
know
know
the Steam
anything.
numbers most likely, but we won't know necessarily on the Xbox side of it. But just taking a stab at it, just for the overall mass appeal, my guess would be Spider-Man will probably sell more like actual copies.
Yeah, I think initially, I think like this holiday, definitely Spider-Man's going to outsell Starfield by a significant margin. But I think,
By a country mile.
but right, but I think the Starfield, especially on the PC side of things, will have more legs there, where it will like over the years. Like if you looked at it in 2026, you will see Starfield so like it has eclipsed Spider-Man, or something like that. Like I just kind of think like the sales tail on it will be longer than what you'll get from Spider-Man. I think this Spider-Man will stop selling as soon as they drop Miles Morales 2 or something like that. Like you'll see the sales probably will drop off a cliff before then, but then they'll just go like no one buys 2018 Spider-Man no more. Right, especially after like even they probably definitely stopped buying it once Miles Morales came out and they packaged the remaster of 2018 into Miles Morales. So it's just you can kind of see the way Sony markets their games and how they do it. Like they have a different strategy than Bethesda ZeniMax Media does when they market their stuff, which they still have their own marketing team, which people don't really realize. But so they still have their own game plan on how they intend to market their games that doesn't have anything to do with Microsoft marketing whatsoever. So I think you can kind of expect those historical things with the way those sales work to continue going forward. Blade X says Miles has been charting for 3 years slow mo. Yes, it has. And I don't expect Miles to chart any longer after Spider-Man 2 comes out.
After Spider-Man 2 comes out, I think those sales are going to die.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for that at that point because there's a new game in town that gives you exactly what you got before, and hopefully, I'm hoping gameplay wise is even better than what Miles Morales. Like Miles Morales gameplay was better than Spider-Man's gameplay. I hope and expect Spider-Man 2's gameplay to also improve upon what they already built on. And if that's the case, there's just really no reason to go back to Miles. I just don't see it, but that's the show.
Agreed.
I said we was running a little long, but it's not as long as we've been sometimes. But
it's been 12 o'clock before.
True. Let's go and get up out of here. We had an awesome show, and definitely appreciate the homie Eric Jackson coming through. Eric, let all the fine people know where to find you and what you got going on.
Yeah, you can find me on Elon's Twitter, EC Jackson with an X, and that's pretty much it. Unless I'm guesting on a pod, But I appreciate you guys having me as always, man. I'm glad I could finally make it through. Hopefully, it won't be that long again until the next visit. I don't think it will be because there's a lot of games hidden, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about to start through the rest of the year. So, but no, again, thanks for having me, man. You know, I always love coming through and chopping it up with you dudes.
Absolutely,
Oh,
bro. We love to
appreciate you,
have you.
bro.
Forte.
Yo, great show. Thanks to the homie E-Jack for coming through, man. It's always a great time. I feel loved again, you know, because he's here. It's awesome. Slow mo,
Yeah, I
great
don't get to
job as
talk to you
always.
that much for this. So this is good, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Forte, slow mo, great job as always with the show. You always kill it. Make
Yes,
sure you
sir.
check us out next week, DPS episode 127. It's going to be amazing as it was this week. And make sure you have a great weekend. Check me out on Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. And you guys have a great week.
And as for myself, look, lunchtime with slow mo's coming back.
No, it's not.
Yo, stop it. Yes, it is. It would have came back if we weren't all like on our deathbed, sick in my household. Like, that stomach virus ran through the entire household as well as my stomach. I know that's nasty, but still, it's the truth.
That is nasty.
But I'm a bit healthier now. And I hopefully next week I can get back to like doing that regularly, and I have stuff just popping up and everything, and messing everything up. I did want to acknowledge our channel members before we got up out of here. Forte, do you have that already up?
I will pull mine up right now. Pulling them up.
Ooh,
usually-
that is a good question. Shout out to Jack Mujani in the chat. Probably one of the funniest people on YouTube. And he said
No doubt.
he said that he thinks Starfield
What
will
up,
have a higher. He believes that Spider-Man 2 will sell more, even long term. But he thinks that Starfield will have a higher Metacritic score.
I kind of agree with that.
I think I kind of agree with that too, because it seems like
Yeah.
even though Insomniac makes high quality games, they never hit 90. Like, all their games are like high 80 games. Like, I think Spider-Man's like 88 or 87. I think Miles is somewhere there too. Like, Ratchet and Clank is in the 80s. Like, they've had some 70 games like in the past, like a long time ago, but like everything else, like I think even Sunset Overdrive was in the 80s too. And it's just like they've never had a 90 rated Metacritic game for whatever reason. And look, I am no fan of Bethesda, so people are going to take this as slander, and I don't care. Games media love that overrated garbage. So
Oh my God.
okay, not garbage, just overrated content. They love it. They give it, not like Fallout 4 being rated. Wasn't that rated in the 90s? Like, I think that's egregious, but whatever.
Yeah, they love them charming bugs and ham faces.
Yeah, they call their bugs charming. Anyone else has bugs like that, it's egregious and disrespectful to my sensibilities, right? But whatever. So I could definitely agree that Starfield will probably have a higher Metacritic. Probably not by a lot, because I don't expect Insomniac to be less than like an 88 or something. I don't expect Spider-Man 2 to be less than 88, but Starfield's probably gonna be like a low 90s game, I think.
True.
What do you?
I got it. I got my stuff up.
Okay, go ahead.
Shout out to the people that support the channel. Shout out to the 10%ers. Shout out to DFlex27. Shout out to Dragonheart Yobi, Stardust Acero, Texas, I'm a Rich Swag Lord, Ramon Terrell, Hargy Shani, Brat, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Corey Hale, Erodimus, Slow-Mo Backslap, DJ Oris, that guy Smitty. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys bring to the channel. And go ahead, Slow-Mo.
Yo, shout out to you guys. Shout out to DexFlex27, Neil S, John the Don, Vay, Babe, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique, Harky Shani, Texas, Shoop Serum, Erodimus, Ramon Terrell, Homie One Kenobi, Gaming Forte, Corey Hale, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty. And like we said before, we appreciate you guys supporting us in this way. And we hope you guys enjoyed the show, because we're about to get up out of here. And anybody got anything else to say before we call it?
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Shout out to the chat. Get it popping.
Cool. All right, we out, people. Enjoy your games. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.